Okay, you guys, so today we are going to be comparing numbers that have numbers in the place value of the millions place. And I'm going to do a few examples of comparing just two numbers. Remember that you need to make sure you put in the right symbol. We always read from left to right. So we're always saying, what is this number on the left compared to the number on the right? We have to read left to right, which means these symbols facing this way will always mean what they mean. This symbol is always saying greater, this symbol is saying less than, and then this symbol, of course, is meaning are they equal. So we're going to do an example of each. Here we go. So first things first, I always underline the first digit on the left of both numbers. And then I want to write down what place it's sitting in, because if I'm going to start comparing these numbers, I can only compare digits that are sitting in the same place value space on a place value chart. This 6 is sitting in the hundred thousands, and I'm going to abbreviate there. And this 5 is also sitting in the hundred thousands. Because they're both sitting in the hundred thousands place, I can go ahead and compare. So I'm just comparing this 6 to this 5. This 6 is worth 600,000. This 5 is worth 500,000. 6 is bigger than 5, so I need to use the greater than symbol. The mouth should be facing to the left. Remember, the alligator wants to eat the bigger number. And there we go. And that one was easy. I only had to compare the first digits. And I only could do that because they were both still in the same spot on the place value chart, and they were different, so I was able to compare. Let's see this one where they look a little bit more similar, so we might have to move down the line a little bit more. But first, always underline the first digit. This is sitting in the 10 millions, and this is sitting in the 10 millions. So that means I can start going down one by one and comparing. 1 and 1 so far are equal to each other. So far it might be equal, but if you start to notice that the numbers are equal, make sure you go all the way down the number before you put your equal sign in there. The next one is a 0 compared to a 0, that's equal. In the 100,000 spot, so look at this, I have a 0 and a 2. So now I have two different numbers sitting in the same place value spot, and they're different. So now I'm going to compare. 0 is what compared to 2? Well, 0 is less than 2, so I need to use this symbol here. And make sure, again, that this symbol is used because that always will say less than as we read it from left to right. And again, we knew that because once we got to this hundred thousands place, the 0 is less than this 2. So this number, 10,027,301, is less than 10,207,301. Okay, our next one, make sure you check what is the first number sitting in. This is in the 10 millions. And this is sitting in the 10 millions. So I can start comparing both of those. So far, they're equal. 6 and 6, 0, 0, 4, 4, 2, 2, 3, 3, 1, 1, and 7, 7. I went to each digit from left to right, and every single number was the same, so the symbol must be equal to each other. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do an example of putting numbers in order from least to greatest. And we'll talk about what you do if they just wanted it greatest to least. It's essentially, you just write it the other way. So here are the following numbers that we'll be working with. All right, so let's say the directions tell you to write the following numbers from least to greatest. It's important to understand the directions first before you just start listing them. So here's what I want you to do. Every time you have a set of numbers and they say order it least to greatest or greatest to least, count how many numbers there are and create a list. there are 4 numbers. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So if they want it least to greatest, this one needs to be the greatest number, and number 1 needs to be the least or the smallest. And then if we're putting it then in order, remember in order, it has to go from smallest to biggest. And then we'll know that we're putting them in the right spot in our list. So what I would do is I would first look at all of those numbers and read them out loud to yourself. We have 42,900,305, 42,899,906, 101,700,355, and 10,999,876. So you might have heard some numbers that sound the same, but we always start to the left. So I'm going to go ahead and underline the first digit of every single number, and then we will be able to start comparing. Please be sure you write down what place it's sitting in. So this is in the 10 millions. This 4 is also in the 10 millions, and I'm abbreviating here. This 1 is in the 100 millions. And this one is in the 10 millions. So already we might be able to see which one is definitely the biggest. Well, all 3 of these, I will be comparing their first digit. But this one, I can't compare this 1 to this 1, this 4, this 4, because they're not sitting in the same spot. This 1 is in a different spot on the place value chart. It's in the 100 million spot. So because none of the other ones have a digit in the 100 millions, we can say that this one is going to be the biggest. So that's going to go down on the bottom. 101,700,355. And then I like to cross it out now that I've done it so I don't repeat myself and make a mistake. Okay, so now these 3 are all in the 10 million, so I can compare all of them. 4 and 4 are equal, and then I have a 1. Well, 1 is the smallest out of all of them, so this has to be the smallest number, which means that needs to be listed as our number 1 spot as the least number, the smallest. And then I'm going to cross it out. Now we have both of these left. Their 4 and the 4 are equal in the 10 millions, so now I need to jump next. I have a 2 and a 2 in the 1 millions place. Those are the same. In the 100,000 spot, I have a 9 and an 8. Okay, so those are different. I have a 9 and an 8. 9 is bigger than 8. 8 is smaller than 9. So we're going least to greatest. So let's do the smallest number out of both of them. That would be the 8. 8 is smaller than 9. So this number is going to go right here in spot number 2. My pen's running out, so let me switch markers here. So I have 42,899,906. And then all that's left is this number right here, which will go in our number 3 spot, 42,900,305. So that's how you compare a list of numbers. This happens to be numbers in the millions place. Please be sure you check what digits you're comparing. You can only compare digits by making sure they're sitting in the same place value spot. And notice that this one is from least to greatest. What if they wanted you to do it from greatest to least? What if it was greatest to least? Well, you would just flip the order. Our first number would be 101 million. Our second number would be the 42 million. Our third number would be the 42,899,000. And then the smallest number is number 1, which is the 10 million. So it's like you just flip-flop it, right? You just need to make sure, again, that you're putting them in the right order, and I suggest using that strategy to help you. All right, you guys, check out the other videos as we compare numbers. I hope that helps you out with whatever you're working on today.